Good morning, Rabbi Isai.
Bad for Sunday.
Not bad for Sunday morning. The was still tired. We were just here. 5-6 hours ago. Unbelievable. Gewaldig. Lili nishmas Mirasi Ruspas Mordechai. Welcome to all the guests. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? The business. You don't have to. What's your name? Whoa, that's a tough one. From Banan? Monty. And who's the guy next to you? Wie is I? Nuchem Striker from? Brooklyn, New York. It goes together like a Muncie and a Brooklyn. Always like this is like the 5th time in a row. And you guys, what's your names? From? Muncie. You're from Brooklyn? Come on, very nice. What's your name?
Yosef
Ezra. You live in Yerushalayim?
Yeah, we moved.
Wow. Okay, Givaldik. Who else is a guest? Anybody else want to say hello? Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Oh, that's your. Wow. You know, I didn't see a long time. You're 14-year-old. Or how old is he now? 15. His bar mitzvah was yesterday. He's already 15.
14 is now.
Yeah. So where is he? Where's Oshi? I don't see Oshi anymore. Where's he? Not here. Okay.
He went to the army.
Oshi. Okay, so you're new here? Yeah. Shalom Aleichem. I never heard of you share. I'm a bit snobbish about Daf Yomi before until my sister sent me a video on WhatsApp from Remaylich Biederman praising your shir and mentioning the free Gemara with the start of Avodah Zarah. So whoever put together the Remaylich Biederman video, you see, brought somebody. Is that you? Wow. Another person you brought. I've always wanted to learn this Masechta and that start got me hooked on Yeshir. My wife and I have been watching, listening since. She mainly watches the Agadata and emails. After starting Daf Yomi, I've been seeing improvements in all areas thanks to self-discipline and being consistent in the da'at brings. A question, you said earlier, okay. P.S. My wife and I have been enjoying the Iriga moment when we discovered that the involved learner sits next to you is Rav Nachman Seltzer. Before we knew who he was, my wife initially was annoyed at his getting a free pass to make comments in Yeshir when others get a strict one comment rule. But I kept sticking up for him and saying how much I enjoyed his comments. No. Then when the theme song came out as being his, my wife asked, wait, is that Reb Seltzer? I felt so vindicated, LOL. We love Reb Nachman's books, and they remind me of my mother-in-law, Sheleimah Dov, who once gifted me a Reb Seltzer book before I knew who he was. The book was 48. She handed it to me and she whispered a hushed odd exclamation, Seltzer, to show me how much she enjoyed his books. Keep up the enjoyable share. We love all the... What?
Good advertisement. Yeah.
We had a pause when Shalom Greenspan mentioned what happened. We were laughing, so Aaron, Yavaldik.
Corporate sponsor.
Dear Raveli, firstly, I would like to point out an interesting situation that has become due to MDY. When I came to Simcha, it's like normal that an MDY approaches the other MDYer, nothing in common. For example, I was at 2 Simchas this week. Shir participant sat next to me and asked, have you done daf today? And then we conversed about the interesting stuff. One guy asked, do you see how Rebellion made applesauce from Rav Nachman Seltzer back then? I'm serious. I made applesauce out of you?
Know what he's talking about. What was he talking about? What was he talking about?
This guy's from Belgium, so it's hard to know what he's talking about. Applesauce. Yeah, something like that. I don't think so.
What else?
Hold on.
What else?
But the most important I want to bring out is one night I was a chassan, an elderly takes a seat next to me and says, do you see the film from Chaim? He continued saying that he's never shared with anyone before, but this film opened him up, told memories when he was schooled, the Rebbe, hard time. Now he couldn't look at the Gemara. Nowadays he joins MDY. Thanks, Ari Chaim, so you strengthened courage to bring this out in the open. However, my story is actually different. I was a good boy, always was quickest to get to desk, good grades in school. However, my whole learning was a lot of pressure only to impress. I always try to my best to impress other people. And the other day I left Koil to business, and there's no one anymore to impress. I have it really hard to open up any sefer at all, causes me biggest anxiety until I found MDY where I can take a treif in a smartphone and look up the treif in YouTube and WhatsApp and watch a push the Daf Yomi shef, a push the Balabatim, be a push the Yid, was learn Torah for the Eibishter. Schor Schaber, me'oid zikar Rab and Gola Boilam, bis Hatzlacha. I don't know what, Antwerp from Belgium. Please withheld the name due to the many sensitive in the letter. Thanks.
Who was that?
Somebody from Belgium. And one more from an 11-year-old. Hi, my name is Aidan Sigler. I've been with him since Sanhedrin 113. I've done Makish Shvuas and I'm doing Avodah Zarah with you currently. I decided to take upon myself responsibility of bringing more people to MDY. I'm an assistant rabbi at the Chabad West Orange, New Jersey. I'm well known in the West Orange Jewish community. So people know who I am. So it's a big deal. He's 11 years old. He's 11 years old. Nachamal, let's do Chazara. If you didn't chap, Nachamal. He's 11 years old. I decided to make about myself a responsibility. He's 11 years old. Responsibility of bringing more people to MDY. I'm the assistant rabbi at Chabad West Orange, New Jersey. I'm well known in the West Orange Jewish community. So people know who I am. So it's a big deal when I made a Sima Makis in front of my entire shul. And my father, Yudah Sigler, wrote an article in Jewish Link magazine, and almost every Jew in town knew about it. About 10 people signed up because they were inspired. You hear this? I gave one guy over the Zar Gemara, and I signed up my 8-year-old brother to do it too. Hello. I'm telling you now that he's 11. But when I was reading it, I'm reading, okay, the assistant rabbi, and then I got this line. I'm a 50-year-old guy, and he says he signed up his 8-year-old brother. Wow, it's great. But Levi says 11 years old. What a Veschusim, seriously. This 11-year-old signed up more people than Nachman Seltzer and Mendy combined.
8-year-old brother is his assistant rabbi.
The assistant of an assistant. Wow. This is unbelievable. They get the whole mishpach involved over there. I don't want him to think that we're making fun of him. It was just so funny. It's geschmack. It's unbelievable. And also, Rebelli made you... What?
He's Chabad. How many people does he put the filler on?
I don't know. Who knows? Oh, listen to this. Whoa. Also, Rebelli. Maybe you could say hi, Jojo, to the camera. Hi, Jojo, to the camera. I have to say that also. And it would make him happy. And even though he's in public school and he doesn't go to Jewish school, he still understands almost all of it and sticking with it the whole time. Hopefully, Be'ezer Hashem will be there together as one big mishpucha, as one big family for the Sima Shas. Thank you so much. Bye. Idan Sigler 11. Rabbi Zayin, very nice, very nice. Rabbi Zayin, I showed this video. Wow, me, ma. Shleima's been here a month ago. Weren't you here a month ago? Shalom Aleichem Shleimah. Oh, that's right, that's right. Oh. So two things. Now that you remind me that, let me say that, and if I forget, because my ADD will... Rabbi Zayin, this Tuesday morning, I'm going with my wife and a couple of Chaim. We're going to Europe. It's the beginning of Bein Hazmanim. So I'm going to be Be'ezer Hashem this Bein Hazmanim in Yerushalayim, in Austria, in Chicago, in Utah, and in Miami, and who knows where else. So it's just the beginning of the trip. Going for like 7 days, coming back. So if you're planning on being here Tuesday morning, I probably won't be here. Monday night, last year in English. Secondly, Hebrew and English. And English. I got to do it because I'm going to be traveling in the morning. Volume 2 for Avodah Zarah. I did not disappoint anybody. This Masechta is unbelievable.
Be back the following Wednesday.
Be back following Wednesday for Avodah Zarah Daf Chof Ches. Avodah Zarah Daf Chof Ches, our Siyum Hashas, Wednesday morning here in the Beis Medrash. Avodah Zarah is turning out to be a What a Masechta. We are looking for sponsors for Volume 2. Volume 2 is coming up, and we got to do something stark, not like a regular Volume 2. Now, yesterday, although I showed this video because it gave me such hana, I watched this at least 10 times, and many of the chevra who are going to be doing tshuva, they told me they're going to be tshuva. One of these guys over here might not want to do tshuva, but the rest are going to be doing tshuva and beginning coming Motzei Shabbos Be'ezer Hashem. Not next week, and not the week after because we're going to be in Yerushalayim. But whenever we get back here at the Beis Medrash. So you guys didn't see this video, you got to see it. It's one of the top videos of all time. The boy say, Noam fixes granddaughters. Not shy. Put up the volume, listen to this. Carries a tune. Mamish like her grandfather. What a reish. What a reish. Ah.
Now what? What are we supposed to take from this? Motzei Shabbos? This is it?
No. I had to replay because of you. The Masech is sponsored by David Salamon, dedicated memory of Miriam Shmuel Boruch ben Chaim Tzvi Dov. Reb Nachman, that's your one hara. Masech sponsors and anonymous. הצלחה ברוך ובגשמיות ולזכות אחינו בני ישראל. Not as may our learning be a shield of protection, a source of unity and blessing for Am Yisrael. Joe Gedalius, leader nishmas, my father, Jack Gedalius. Call us sponsor Monday. Moshe Miriam Landy, thank Hashem for all the bracha and simcha day. Yosef Ezra. This is the co-sponsor for the day. In loving memory of Yehoshua Ben Shimon Dov. Monthly sponsors, TCS Israel Power by TALKNSAVE, Yoni Klestzick, Refuah Sheleimah, Miriam Basperel, Fradl Pesel. Daily sponsors, L'Rega, Hachalaka Shel Bini Ayela David Isaac, Nir Yoyer. L'Gadle B'Torah B'Avodah V'Chasidus V'Niskele Rav Nachas L'Kedusha Mimenu. Man. MDY Kids Monthly, Innovations, Chus, for Official Chonan, Akiva, Rivki, Mrs. Stefansky, Calming Yisrael for learning 4 Mesechus with the Rebellion. Art of the Month, for Sheleimah, for Yonatan Eitan Ben Bashav Baruch. He was here last night. He came for the Motzei Shabbos here. Before Sheleimah, Mordechai Ben Esther. I don't need water. It was a hint to do tshuva. Yeah, that wasn't coffee.
Take a drink.
I think I made a bracha. In honor of Yossi Klein and Mark Ashkenazi for all the work they do. A Mazal Tov on the birth, the naming of Malka Stern, born to Sruli and NDF Stern. Mazal Tov to the doting. Who says that? Doting. Who says that? Doting siblings and grandparents. Moshe and Hindi Stern. And Fischel and Sarah Lee Gross. And the 3 great grandmothers. Rabbi said, what a daf, what a daf. Another daf of Agadata. Then we have tomorrow daf of Agadata. Oh, Eli Dolinsky made a simcha. His son, I think, is here. Is he here? The Chassan. What's your name, Chassan? Vigda's a Chassan. Mazal Tov. And Eli is right next to him. Mazal Tov, Mazal Tov. You got your seat back, Rebelli. Wow. Okay.
He's a Rebbe.
Says the Gemara like this. As every good Agadata to the Daf, there's a lot of Yisoidus in life that we can learn from here. I saw Rabbi Yochanan ben Tradian. 3 lines from the bottom of Zayin Amud Beis. Those who were here last night know. We're holding with Rabbi Chanina ben Tradian. He was one of the Asara Harugi Malchus, and they bring him in to kill him. Yesterday we learned that he was Makal Kilis Barabim. He was learning Torah, and they brought him in to be killed. Why do you learn Torah? He tells the Romans, because it says in the pasuk, I have to learn Torah. There's nothing I can do about it. What's this? I have no idea what this is. Somebody put this in.
Hey, good morning. We have breaking news, brand new information, and a sketch.
Oh, that's that. Okay, I got it. Shkoyach, that was from last night. But they put it in. That's the one you found? Oh, Shalom Aleichem, welcome back, Doc. We missed you. How long were you gone for? 2 weeks? And you went through Egypt, the whole thing? Yeah, through Egypt. Gehenim, right?
It's large.
Wow. We'll talk about it. It's like literally 13 hours. Like the desert part is how long?
3 hours from Sharm el-Sheikh from the border to Sharm el-Sheikh in 3 hours.
3 hours, not so bad, but it's dangerous also.
2 hours at the border.
Wow. Okay, but you're back. Givaldik. So they bring in Reb Chanina ben Tradian. Kasher tzivani Hashem Elokai learn Torah. Miad Gozru is a terrible thing. Miad Gozru all over the Sreifa, they say you're going to be burnt, and that's what happened, as we're going to see in the story. They burnt him alive. Va'alishtoi lahariga, and his wife also has to die. Va'albitoi, she's not going to die, but she's leisha bekuba shel Zayin, she has to go together with the Zayinas. Explains the Gemara, why did he deserve such a terrible punishment to be burnt alive? All of the Sreifa, the reason is Hashem he said Hashem's name, the 42-letter name, in order to do stuff, to do ma'ifsim. He would impress people with Shem Hashem. As the Gemara, but how could one do that? Top of Yud Ches Amud Aleph. To do that, you lose the Olam Haba. It says, who are the people that don't get Olam Haba? If somebody says Torah is not from Hashemayim, Vein tchias hamesim in Torah, and you don't get tchias hamesim. Abba Shalom Omer, Afa Hoigis Hashem Bois Yosef. If you say Hashem's name as it is, you lose the oilam haba. Last night we had a big schos. I have to thank the Israelis again. We waited for like 10 minutes, but he showed up. My uncle. I was very, very close to him growing up. I used to spend many, many Shabbosim there. In fact, I brought my wife as a kala. We spent Shabbos over there. We went to Muncie. It was all very, very close to him. Big tzaddik. He's the one, I told you a lot of stories about him. He lives in Muncie. His Shemon Esrei Yom Kippur night is from Ma'ariv. He finishes when people come in for Shachars. That's how it was back then. A regular Shemon Esrei could be over an hour by him during the week. Learns the whole day. Big tzaddik. So he got here, he was here, and we said these words, and I said, tell him the story. Remember, we went to that Makubal and Herzli, and he said it over. He said, he said, I have a mark over here, and it's under my pants, and this. He said he was mamish saying things, but then he started saying, he said, he was Hoigi Hashem Bois Yosef. So we left. Said it. Anyway, just another raya that all my stories are real. So I don't need rayas, but yeah. Says the Gemara. He didn't do it for moifsim. He did it to teach, to learn it, to teach it, to know it, see, show what it does. We had a few Gemaras like that. Rashi reminds us the story where Rebbe Akiva planted gourds. He said some words and the whole field filled up. How can you do it? It's kishuv. Let's slam it. I want to learn. I want to show what you're allowed to do. You're not to teach. If somebody does this, he's chayiv misa, not chayiv misa. Also, the story with the Tzuras HaLevana with Rim Gamliel and Rosh Hashanah. You're not allowed to depict the Levana. You're not allowed to make a shape of a moon. But he had all the different shapes for Kiddush Levana. To understand and to teach, you're permitted. So why did you get a punishment? They all explain, the Rishonim say, but the little thing that was wrong here, that he did it in public. Okay, so he got a terrible oynish. Why did she deserve to die? She did not protest. She should have said, Rabbi Yid, my husband, you're not allowed to do what you're doing. You're doing Hoig Hashem Bois Yosef b'farhesa. You're not. It's a terrible thing. She didn't say it. She was quiet. She was American style. Keep things to yourself. Don't tell it's none of your business what the other guy does. You get the death penalty for that. If you're able to protest, and again, everybody has to understand the situation. You don't protest against the let's. You don't do it if it's not going to accomplish anything. Or if I care, it'll be worse than the accomplishment. But if you could make a macha, and you don't do macha, nena shalav. You get over and over. We see it again. This is not the first time in this Masechta alone. What happened with the daughter? Why did she get punished? Why? She was once walking the street. The pasha, the pshat is just simple basics. Look at her; she walks very nicely. She walks like a professional. So she did it even more. She walked in even a nicer way. Some of you want to say that it's talking about tznius, but okay, just the pasha pshat. The sin of my heels are going to surround me. Those averos, referring to this woman who, with her heels, the way she walked, she was over, or the famous pshat that people are over on averos on a daily basis, the same lashon hara over and over and over, it becomes easy to them. They'll surround him the day of judgment. Tremendous thing happened there. Only to imagine, put yourself in the situation for 10 seconds. The goyim are taking you out, and they're screaming and everything, and you're about to be burned. The fire is burning. You're 3 minutes away from losing your life in a terrible, terrible death. And the one thing that's going through your mind is Hashem is right. Hashem did the right thing. I'm a kabel ba'ahaba. He knows what he's doing. I deserve it. That's tziduk hadin. It's an unbelievable madrega. Hu Amar, and each one threw out a pasuk. Rabbi Chanina ben Tradin said, Atzur Tamim Pa'aloi. The rock, Tamim Pa'aloi. He's perfect. Everything he does is exact. He knows what he's doing. I deserved it. There's no avla. There's not. It's perfect. So she quotes a pasuk here from Yirmiyahu. Al kol darchei, referring to the way she walked, the derech that she walked. And it says in the continuation, I think, Lo seis lish kidracha, but each person deserves what they deserve. I deserve this. Oh, my Rabbeinu HaKadosh says, Kama gdolim tzadikim halal. Look at these three tzadikim. Sheniz daven lem shalish mikroy shel tzidik adin. They said the three psukim of saying that Hashem is right, b'shas tzidik adin. At the moment. That's the chachma, to do it at the moment. Everybody else is thinking about other things and what's going to be. Oy vey vey. Boom. Say a pasuk. Tan Rabban. Kishachol Rabbi Yosef ben Kisma. I said before that Reb Chanina tried his makal kills barabim. I guess I meant this. I said it last night in the Hebrew, but it's today's daf. Kishachol Rabbi Yosef ben Kisma. Rabbi Yosef became sick. Holach Reb Chanina ben Tradio in Levakroi. Reb Chanina went to visit him. Omar Lo, he gave him some good musar. Chanina Achi, my brother. Don't you realize the Romans, Hashem put them here in charge. They destroyed the Beis Hamikdash. V'hargis Chasida of all these Harugim Malchus, look at them. Be'ivdas Toivav, and destroyed the best of the best. V'adaini Kayemes, and Hashem lets them be in charge. V'ani Shamati Olecha, and I heard about you. What's wrong with you? How could you put yourself in danger? It's also to put yourself in danger. Umakil kilis barabim, and you go and you're learning Torah in public. Yesterday we had the story with Rabbi Eliezer. Was it yesterday? 2 days ago? Where was it? I'm getting confused there with the bees. Yesterday. So Rabbi Eliezer, they said, "What are you doing? Why are you teaching Torah?" He said, "I'm not teaching Torah." She said, why do they call you Rebbe? He says, "Oh, Rebbe, because I teach how to weave." And they said, "Oh yeah, you know how to weave. So what's a shesi? What's an erev?" But they believed him. But if you're going to hold a sefer Torah in your hand, you're done. You're dead meat. There's nothing you can say. You can't say, "Oh, I teach weaving." You're holding a sefer Torah. They said, "You're not going to be able to get out of this." Omar Loi, min hashamayim yirachamu. Hashem should have rachmanas. Omar Loi, this is literally a conversation I had a few times in my life. I'm using logic. You're using, the Rebbe Shalom is going to help. When I tell you, you have to do shtadlus. You're driving like a meshugana. Rebbe Shalom will help. But you're driving like a nut. You're going to kill yourself. You don't say that when you're not doing shtadlus. You don't go barabim when the Romans, the Goyim say they're going to kill you, and you give a shir in public. He's a very, very sharp lashon. Tomei ani, I'm wondering, in lo yisrvu oischa, they're not going to burn you. V'sefer Torah beish. Pella play. He said such a thing. Because mamash, I'll be surprised if they're not going to burn you when you sefer Torah. Omar lo Rebbe, mani l'chaylam haba. So do I get oilam haba? Omar lo, he tells him, is there any story, a big maisa that you did? Omar lo, yeah. Moishel purim nischalfuli b'moishel tzedakah. Once I put aside a nice amount of money for Purim, for the Suda, for everything in Purim, and I got mixed up, and I gave the money to tzedakah. We said yesterday that he was in charge of the Kubashal tzedakah. Just the Gemara says what? He didn't do chesed. He only learned Torah, that's why they got him. And the other one, he did Torah and chesed, that's why he didn't die. The Gemara says, but what he didn't do chesed, he was in charge of the Kubashal tzedakah. So he didn't do it properly. Upon him, he was in charge of the Kubashal tzedakah. Comes the Aniyim, and he takes out from the wrong pocket. He gives his own private money to the Aniyim. V'chilaktim la'aniyim. So he says to him, Rabbi Yosef says, Omar Loi, wow. Imkein, mechelkacha yeh chelki, umegarolcha yeh garoli. I wish I have a chelik of yours. I want to be part of you. Alavai should be. Yeah, how are you going to get out of my boat? The question is, Rabbi saying, Rabbi Chanina ben Tradio and so many Talmidim is makal kilis barabim, teaches Torah barabim. He's in charge of the Kubashal tzedakah. And he asks him, do you have any action, anything that you ever did? He says, yeah. One time I put aside $200. How much is a Suda, Purim Suda? Kleingeld, we call it. It's not $500, $1,000. You put aside $1,000, and by mistake he gave the $1,000. He didn't say anything. So for that he's going to Olam Haba, and not only that, Rabbi Yosi is jealous of him. He says, I wish I could be in your Olam Haba, I could be with you. What's going on here? I saw a beautiful pshat. It says like this. Just on Friday, leaving Shir, walking to my house, a car pulls up, out comes Shon Ber Sorotskin, came to be Menachem Oval here. He says, oh! So we had a little conversation, like for 10 minutes or so. And I told him, tell me a good story. So he told me a good story. I'll share with you in a second, the Kavalka stuff. But they say, not this, nothing to do with what he told me, but they say about him, a great mice. I think this is how it goes. He went to Rav Shteiman. He's very close to Rav Shteiman. And Rav Shteiman asked him, I don't know how the whole conversation developed, but Rav Shteiman asked him, how much of what you do is Hashem Shamayim, and how much what you do is personal? So he looks at Rav Shteiman and he says, 95% of what I do is personal. The rest is Hashem Shamayim. So Rav Shteiman tells him, wow, what a chaval. If it was 100% personal, there'd be so many more koilel and yeshivas. Yes. That's like only he could say like that because, a regular guy, 50-50, 90% for L'Shem Shamayim, 10%, 95% is for myself. So, perhaps that's the pshat over here. It says, listen, you're makil kilos barabim. So you get a little, tickles a little bit. It's not 100% L'Shem Shamayim. You charge a kubish tzedakah, so everybody says, wow, what a tzaddik. Did it ever happen that you did a maisa? Can you tell me of one thing that nobody knows about? Nobody. It was all L'Shem Shamayim. Like the Rambam says that if a person does one mitzvah, 100% l'shema, you go straight to Gan Eden. But it has to be 100% l'shema. Nobody knows, nothing. He says, yeah. One time on Purim, you have $1,000 to the Ani. I didn't tell the Ani, I didn't tell my wife, I didn't tell anybody. Just to me. Says, if that's the case, so then all your Torah and all the Gemilas Chesed that you did, then it's also a simon that's L'Shem Shamayim. And now I'm mamish jealous of your thing. Now you want to know what Reb Shalom Ber Sorotzin told me. He said you probably saw that people are upset that I built the $18 million Aron Kodesh. First of all, it didn't cost $18 million. It cost 8 and I pocketed 10 for the yeshiva. He says, but I want to tell you, number one, I already sold Psichel and Ne'ilah for $5 million. I sold the Paroiches for 4. I sold the mezuzah for this, that. I already made 21 million additional on this Aron Kodesh. That's A. B, I want to tell you thousands, I'm not exaggerating, thousands of unaffiliated Jews walk into the Beis Medrash. Since I got it, they're coming, they're looking, and from those thousands, many accepted upon themselves to keep Shabbos, Chavrusas in the yeshiva. He says, I'll give you one. He says, the Chazon Ish's brother has a great-grandchild, a Karelitz. He came to the yeshiva, not affiliated, nothing. He asked me if I could open up the Aron Kodesh. He tells me, he says, sure, open up the Aron Kodesh. The guy, he's in his 80s. He put his head in there and he started crying like a baby. He says he came out and he says, I want to be Makabel something. He says, Shabbos. He says, okay, Shabbos. He says he hasn't done anything for 80 years. He says, so I told him, I said, me personally, I have no issue. Everything by him is large. What's it? People have tinus, this, that. The money should have gone to here. That's how he does it. He raises $90 million a year. 90 million. I told him, look, we try to raise $2.5 million and we struggle. He says, how do you do 90? He says, come to my office, I'll teach you. It's not a problem. All right, anyway.
It was $8 million golden Aron Kodesh, and then you'll figure it out. It's very easy.
If you think big, you get big. He thinks large. What?
It's all worded or says.
What? What are you saying?
You gotta have bigger sagas.
Bigger sagas, of course, bigger sagas.
Build out, make a dog, they can have
Of course, but we don't have the koyach. All right, Zag the Gemara, no shaila. Says the Gemara. Amru. Listen to this. This Rabbi Yosef that Rabbi Chanina ben Trad, you went to visit, he was Niftar because he was sick. You went to visit because he was sick. He ended up dying. All these big goyim went to bury him, to be by the levaya of his pidu, and they gave biggest spade in the goyim. Imagine a goy getting up by a funeral of a goladar and gave a hesped gadol. Ubachazarason, mamish within minutes. Rabbi Yossi's niftar minutes later. Mitzau Rabbi Chanina ben Trading Yosef Ezra Torah. They bump into Rabbi Chanina. The words, the nevuah of Rabbi Yossi takes place immediately after he dies. HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't want him to see this terrible thing. And they see him being over on what he spoke to Rabbi Yossi about. He's
In Yaakov says that.
the what?
That he took him so that he shouldn't see what happens from him in Tragedy.
What do you think I didn't know? I just pretend it's my own. No. Shkoya. He's doing mamish what he told Rabbi Yossi, what they argued about. He's giving a shir in public, and he has a sefer Torah. These big who just came from a levaya, masfid a gadol. They gave cover to the gadol. At the same time, a minute later, they're taking the next gadol, and they decide to burn him alive. And they wrap him up with the sefer Torah. Now, it wasn't enough that they should burn him alive. First, they put a bunch of twigs over there, and they lit the fire. They soaked the sponges in water. They put it on his heart. They did some trick that the guy should suffer and suffer. Just last night, a guy comes over to me after the shir, and he says he was in a terrorist attack 4 months ago, where an Arab threw bakbuk tavera, how do you say it in English? Molotov cocktail, and it burnt his leg. He says the Yisur, he just came out of the hospital after 4 months. Now he says, you have no idea what Yisurim to being burnt is. He says, I'm feeling it right now as I'm talking to you. It's unbelievable. We know, everybody knows, to being burnt is like the worst of the worst. And he says, we learned this daf last night. He says, I didn't want to come to shir and this and that. I picked like the wrong day, reliving the trauma. So he takes it in nishmas me'era. No, it's a kiss from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's good. They did it to prolong his yisurim. Now these yisurim, just from this Gemara alone, it seems like a bunch of minutes here. It wasn't like a 20-second. It was prolonged by, he had conversations as his body's being burnt. Amr loy bitoi, his own daughter, is sitting there watching him die, Reb Chanina's daughter. Abba, erecha bekach, zu Torah, zu schara, says Rashi. This is what you get for teaching Torah. Amar law, he tells her, ilmole ani nisrafti levadi. If I'll be burned by myself, hayadav kashali. You're right, it would be hard. Achshav, shani nisraf. Nisraf. It's not yisaref. Nisraf, he's being burnt as he's speaking right now. These words, his body's being burnt. V'sevet Torah yimi. And the sefer Torah is with me. The one who is going to take revenge on this sefer Torah being burned, he'll take revenge on those who are burning me. Rebbe, Mataroya. So Tosfos explains one of the pshatim. They heard noise, they heard sounds, but they couldn't see. He's saying, what do you see, Rebbe? Omer lahem, Gilyoy nisrafim v'oisiyos parchos. What I see is the letters here. The actual parchment is burning, but the letters are going up in there. If anybody sees, I searched for this pshat, I couldn't find it. So if you see, if you know, if you're here, I think it's very simple. I think what he's trying to say here is you could burn gashmis, you could burn the cloth, you could burn my body. But the Torah, the ruchnius, that you can't take here. That is parchas ba'arver, that you can't burn. That goes up to Shemayim, and that's the Iyar in life. So says the Gemara.
Maral and the Marshal.
He brings it over here in the here thing. The Marshal doesn't bring it.
Brings it from the Maral and the Marshal.
What? Really?
Maral and Marshal.
Okay. Pashat. Dvarim pshutim.
He doesn't know.
I don't have the Hebrew article, and the English article doesn't bring it, and the English article does not bring it. No, it doesn't. Show me.
Not in the original version. You use.
He does kind of say it. Okay.
Kind of.
Pashat. Okay. Zog the Gemara. Avodah Psach Picho v'dikonis b'choish. So they tell him, Eitz Toiva, let's go, let's hurry this thing up. Oh, just open up your mouth a little bit and let the fire enter your mouth and you'll die quicker. Omar Len Mutov Shitleno, this they bring a riot from here. Could you hasten the death? Could you stop taking medication, take off the oxygen? Different things are different things. Taking away oxygen is different than not taking medication. Mutov Shitleno Mishanasana Vaychabalu Ba'atzmai, people that are in their last days. Mishpachas know about this stuff. It's mamish tzalacha l'maisa, because if you don't give this medication, they die right away. If you take off the oxygen for a minute, they could die. Different machines, different. So yeah, and the person is suffering. The person saying, take this off." They don't know. They get these machines off of me. Are you allowed to do it for them? He says it's better that Baruch Hu should take the neshama than a person should do it on his own. Omar loy klatztoneri. So the executioner standing there says, and this is the third time we have it in the Masechta. Rebbe, if I turn up the flame, and I take off the sponge from your heart. In other words, I'm going to make sure that you die quickly. Listen to all these conversations. First he's schmoozing with his daughter. Then he's schmoozing with his talmidim, mataroya. Now he's talking to the executioner. I mean, this is a whole thing. There's a whole day over here. These Rishonim, they know how to do it, prolong. You don't have to burn you just burn the toes a little bit. Put the fire in the person's not going to die. Goes up the leg a little bit, and the fingers, there's ways to the Shem Yirachim.
To speed it up yourself, you can't to open your mouth.
Right.
But to have somebody else do it,
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's what they bring a right from here. Somebody else. The guy, are you going to bring out the Mivein L'Chayim Abba? You promised me I'll get Olam Abba. And yes. He shall at least swear to me. Nishba lo, he swore to him. Miad, here b'b'shalebes, so he increased the flame. V'notal svagim shel tzemim aliba, he took off the sponges. V'yotza nishmas b'meheira, and he was niftar right away. Says the Gemara, this Klestzick, afu kofatz v'noval t'chor, he jumped, the executioner jumped into the fire, committed suicide. Yotza baskal v'amra, this is a peloploim, to me at least. Reb Chanina ben Tradion, Akash Baruch Hu, the baskal says the two names together. Reb Chanina ben Tradion, v'klatztoiniri, mizumonim l'chayim abba, in the same sentence. Both of them are welcome to Olam Abba. Bocha Rebbe v'Amar. And Rebbe cried for the third time in this Masechta. Yesh koner lome b'sha'achas, there are those who get Olam Haba in 1 hour of Daf Yomi a day. Yesh koner lome b'kama shanim. Some takes many years to achieve the Olam Haba, referring to also to Rebbe, who had Yisurim for 13 years. So the Gemara, Bruria, the Visa of Meir, Bruria, who was the wife of Meir, and we know throughout Shas, there's a lot of stories about her. One of them is when her two sons died on Shabbos, so she went to inform Meir, and she didn't want to be Mitzrayim on Shabbos, and she said, if somebody lends you 2 diamonds, you have to return it. Of course you have to return. And she was the Talmid Chacham. How was she the Talmid Chacham? Because she was the daughter, Beratid Reb Chanina ben Tradion Havoy. She heard Torah in the house of Reb Chanina ben Tradion. The terrible story in Amud Beis about her, but typically speaking, the Gemara always talks in terms of that she knew how to learn. Amar Loi, she tells Reb Meir, so Reb Meir's wife is Reb Chanina ben Tradion's daughter, and is also whose sister? The girl who went to the Beis Zaynos. She says, Zila bi Milsa, it's embarrassing to me, Yosef Ezra b'kuba shel Zaynos. Interesting. Not that we have a problem with her. Problem with me, for me it's a busha. Shokal tarkeva the dinari vazel. She takes 32 ounces of gold, practically $100,000 worth of gold. If she didn't do anything wrong, then this nest will work. And if she did something wrong, no nest. He dressed up like a Roman. Omar law hashminili. He tried to seduce her. Omar lay. I can't. I'm a nida, I can't. Omar lo, masrachno mirtach. I'll wait. Not a problem. I'll come back tomorrow. Omar lo, in Efficient Tuva. There's a lot of women here. They're actually better than me. What do you? Don't wait. Omar, shmami no le'yav isur. You see from here, she didn't do an isur. Called the osi. Anybody that comes to her, approaches her. Omar le'yach. This is what she says. So he went to the guard. Give me this woman. She's my sister-in-law. I need her. I can't give it to her, I'll get killed. They kill on such things. In fact, this guy died at the end because of it. So he says, here, take the $100,000, palga use half of it to pay off the bribes that you need, and half keep for you. You'll have $50,000. Release her. And what should I do when I run out of money paying all these people? Just say this sentence. So they bring in the Svarim, a lot of Svarim, Chaim all day, that it's an actual zgul that's brought in Gemara here, something is lost, or you have a tzara, light a candle, lilu nishmas remain about this, give tzedakah and say, Elakah the Meir Aneni. And you'll see Yeshua.
You have to say the song.
There's a song? How does it go? It doesn't sound like a song, it sounds like a Yom Kippur chant. Huh? So the guy tells him, I'm a guy, I'm not such a believer in these things. How do you know that this line works? I'll prove it to you. Here, I'm going to show you this thing. Tell me what's wrong with this. I'm sorry, but there's something wrong here. Take a look at this. Okay. Now I'm going to read the story. Tell me what was wrong with that. There were dogs that bit people. They didn't eat them, I don't think. They bit them. He took a piece of dirt, threw it at them. So they came to bite him. Omar, he said, and they let him alone. What's wrong with that video that we just showed? Let me show you again.
He said, he says that the article says that they were dogs that eat people.
They eat people? I'll tell you what's wrong, in my opinion. Over here, the guy said it, and the Gemara Remeir said it. So, says the Gemara, these are two very important words. I never heard of dogs that eat people, but okay, fine. Huh? I'll tell you the difference. This Americans wrote, so they said the bit. This Yerushalmi wrote. Dogs eat people. According to Yerushalmi, dogs eat people. Oh, the little poodle, oy vey, let's get out of here. No. Okay, so V'yavale. Says the Gemara, the guard took the sister-in-law and gave her to her mayor. So she's free. Says the Gemara, the Romans heard that this guy let her free. So they wanted to hang him. They couldn't hang him. They tried, nothing worked. So they took him down from the gallows. Tell me, well, what's going on? How do you? First the rope breaks, then the door breaks, then your neck becomes hard like a rock. I don't know what. We couldn't hang you. What happened? I met a person. His name is Remeir. He told me just say this and this, and you'll be saved. Like a wanted sign. They didn't have pictures then, so they put they etched Remeir's face. They carved it out in a stone and said, if anybody sees this face, come. They say a guy went over to some yid in Kerestir and says, I don't understand something. This wanted poster of this guy. Well, you didn't find this old man yet? Sponsors, hold on, sponsors. But now I just want to show you this real quickly because I told Dave to put it in. I thought it was cool. This is a wanted poster.
Hey, good morning. We have breaking news, brand new information, and a sketch of a man wanted for question.
He looks like Kim. Okay, anyway. No, there's another one with okay. I have to say. Turning to the Daf Global. Experts in international financial services. Anonymous says Chusvat Zochim Ruchnis and Gashmis and for the smooth, healthy labor and birth. Givat Shalva, Torah, true community, and Givat Ze'ev.
Volume 2.
Nachamal? Till at mdy.com. Let me say, Volume 2, Rabbi Isai, if you didn't hear, we were looking for sponsors. And this is, what's special about the Volume 2 of Avodah Zarah, you get somebody to come join the shir. He's gonna stay for life because this is the Masechta. It's unbelievable what's going on here. We're enjoying so much. Zog the Gemara. Yoim echad v'chaziu. Amri, called the chazi the person of a day l'sai. Said, whoever sees this face, bring him here. Yoim echad chaziu. Somebody saw him. Rod abasrei. They chased him. Rod mikamayu. He ran away. All the Beizonos, he went into the Beizonos. Here, I have this, I got to do it real quickly because we're running out of time. But basically what he did is, I hope this is not open. This didn't work. Okay, so let's say, I need a tissue. Okay, so he went like this. He stuck his finger in, yeah? But really, it's still here, right? That's Tom. He stuck one finger in, but he ate the other of treif. It's impossible that he ate treif. He did a trick. He put his finger into one, but he actually licked the other. Navi dressed up like a Zayin, karachte, and hugged him, pretended like she knows him, like he's a regular over here. Amri, chas v'sholem. I didn't see this pshat bemis because this is not a good one. It's a little shvach pshat, but I thought maybe bemis. I saw the question. I didn't see a good answer. Why did Remei have to go? There's so many ways that Eliyahu Navi could save him. You could just pick him up and put him over there. Why did he have to dress like a Zayin and hold him like a Zayin? So maybe it's like a midah keneged midah of what happened over there. Because Meir actually dressed up like a Roman and tried to seduce her. Maybe there was a little bit of a taina on him. Why are you trying to seduce her? Why are you choshed her that she was over? Maybe something, but I don't know. What? No, he doesn't. No, that's different. Right. Yeah. We're getting there. We're getting to that story. We're getting to the story right here. Wanted post. Shkoyach, who did that? You? Says the Gemara. It can't be Remeir. Remeir have a Avodah. Remeir wouldn't be with the Zayin. He wouldn't be eating treif. Come Orak Osel Bavel. So he was saved that day. So he ran away to Bavel. Some say because of the story. What's the brewery? What's the story with brewery? Real quickly, Rashi brings a terrible story that Remeir said in Shir that Noshim Daiton Kalos. The lightheaded. So brewery didn't like it. She took offense to it. She says she's mizalzel on it. So Remeir wanted to prove her wrong, so he sent a Talmud to seduce her. It took a long time, but he was matzliach. Obviously, they didn't do a ma'isa, but she agreed to it. Exactly what happened is a whole Ben Yoyod that says a completely different story. She was so embarrassed that she committed suicide. They say it's probably shloika halacha. And Remeir, Rashi says, was embarrassed by that story, and he ran to Bavel, went away to Bavel. Person goes to a stadium like the Colosseum where the gladiators, they kill each other, like the circus. The fortune tellers. Snake. This one, Avremi, if you could just lower the volume on this, the volume is very annoying on this one. You could do volume a little bit, but not. This is a snake whisperer, charmer. This is a cobra. Whoa. I love this. Bukyan, umukyan, umulyan, belulyan. These are jugglers and clowns and acrobats. Belurin, salgurin. We even have a picture of them here. Welcome to the circus. Bukyan, mukyan, mulyan, bulyan, salgurin. Harezem Moshe Leitzim. He's sitting in the company of Leitzon. What's the pasuk? Where? First of all, where is this pasuk? Where? Mr. Tehillim over here. Over there, Chatoim Leomad. Moshe Leitzim. That's the David Melchizedek over there. Moshe Leitzim Leyoshav. Kim b'toyres Hashem cheftzoi ubesoyrosoi yehege yoyim v'loylo. supposed to learn Torah night and day. These things, they bidul Torah. This brings it to bidul Torah. But I have a contradiction. You could go to the stadium, to the Coliseum. I actually looked it up today. Crazy. That's what they used to do. They would bring convicts. They would bring less desirable people and have them. The punishment was go up against this gladiator. Here's a little sword. Is this? Go up against a professional, a UFC fighter. Knock off his head in front of the very bed, and they would cheer. Now, one of the things that it says Mefurish, I looked it up in ChatGPT. You could get involved. You could thumbs up, thumbs down. You could scream, no, stop the fight. Stop. You could have Rahman. Like the audience can control whether or not this guy dies. So they put the little Jew in there. Let's see, it'd be geschmack to see him die. So you as a Jew could scream and be part of it and try to save him. And to go to the circus, not just a circus, Ringling Barley, Bailey brother. This is, over there they would do things for the government. So if you sat in there, you could actually manipulate what happens with the government. But don't be part of the government. Don't be part of the army. It says Mefurish, but if you decide you're part of them, you'll think, oh, what better way than me being part of it, then I could have more influence. I'm inside the government. No, that you can't do. It says in one place that you're allowed to go to the stadium, and the other place it says you can. What about the circuses also? It says Mefurish that you're part of them. So in one place you were part of, that's why it's also. The other part you weren't part of. You're just there as part of the audience, that's okay. But if you're part of the actual Senate or whatever it is, that's a problem. How do we answer the Coliseum? You shouldn't go because of litzanos. Just to explain what litzanos is, we have to explain. What is litzanos? Litzanos is not to say a joke and laugh. In fact, the Reb Shlomo Shadron went to the Chazon Ish and said, people are saying that I say too many jokes in my drashas. So the Chazon Ish says, say over your drasha. So say it over the exact same way. With all the jokes, yeah. So he got up there, pretended he was in the audience, and he said jokes, and the Chazon Ish this, and the Chazon Ish said, that's fine. Litzanos means to put something down, to belittle something, to say on a Talmud Chacham, to say on a whole part of Klal Yisrael, they're terrible, they don't do this, I wish they did that. To take a halacha and put it down, that's litzanos. To make a joke and laugh, that's not litzanos. Not to be confused with having a good time and putting something in the Torah down. Rabbi Nosson Mater b'nei shnei dvarim. Nosson says you're allowed to go to the stadium. Echad b'nei shetzivech u'matzel, because you're mamish. I love these guys. We're going to go to the stadium now, but we're mamish pikuach nefesh. We're trying to save people. No, you want to see somebody's head being chopped off. And also you're allowed to go if the guy, the husband is in there, he's one of the gladiators and he dies. You have to be testified that she can get married. Ton Rabbanon. And all of that, you can't go to theaters and the circuses, because they gather over there, says Rashi, Mizavans gather, and they gather money for Avodah Zarah. If they gather money, it's also for Avodah Zarah, and if not, also, there's another reason why it's also. Might be now. At the end of the day, Mary says it's also because of Moshe Miriam, but it's also. So what's the difference? What if you went there anyway? So if it's because of Avodah Zarah, it's also. But if it's because of litzanos, okay, we'll let it go. You didn't go with the advice of the Rishon. You didn't stand there with the chet. If you didn't go, how do you stand? If you didn't sit, if you go, you're going to stand. I think there's a murdig yisoid in life also. All averes that we do, you take a look, yeah? You'll say, I'll buy this device, but I'm not going to be nirshal. I'm going to put a filter, So what happens is, you think that that's what's going to happen. You think, I'm just going to walk right through, and I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to be over an avera. Says the Gemara, no, that's not how it works. It starts off, I'm just going to go through. But at the end, you stand. You pause for a minute. And then when you pause for a minute, you say, let me have a seat. And then when you have a seat, then you do litzanos. It's not that you jump to the Aveira right away. It's steps. This happens to be with znus, okay, but it happens with all Aveiras. It doesn't apply to me. I'm not I happen to be there. I'm gonna go fast. No. At the end, you're gonna stop. Once you stop, you're gonna sit. Once you sit, you're gonna do litzanos. Bimla, it's what? Mamish, that's what it says. Yeah, but you have to read it. You have to hear it. Bimla, it's everything is said. Everything. And when I say, especially after I say it. Bimla, it's all chochamto loch. Bimlatzto, levat chotiso. And if you do litzanos, you're gonna have to suffer the consequence all by yourself. Omer v'lezer kolam. It's like this. Litzanos, Yisurim ba'am malav. Causes Yisurim. Shenemar v'ata at tzloitzisu b'myechziku meisreichem. You'll have Litzana Yisurim from the tzloitzisu, from the Litzanos. Omer lo Rabba l'Rabbana. Rabba tells his Talmidim, b'matusa, I beg you, b'ino minaycha, I'm asking you, delete the tzloitzisu. Please don't do Litzanos. The leisu alaycha Yisurim, so that you shouldn't at the end suffer Yisurim. Omer Rav Katino, call him tzloitzis. B'zei Yosef mismatim, you get less mezayda. Shenemar moshach yodei tzloitzisim. Even your parnasa goes down. You fall in Gehenim. Shenemar, Zayd Yor let Shmoy, Oyse Bever Zadon. Venever El Gehenim. Shenemar Yoim Ever Yoimahu, you get Gehenim for the Leitzanos. Omer Bishaya, call him Siyar Nefil Gehenim, uses the same pasuk. For Gaiva, which is also a type of Leitzanos. Shenemar, Zayd Yor let Shmoy, Oyse Bever Zadon. Venever El Gehenim. Shenemar Yoim Ever Yoimahu. Omer Chanilai Bachanilai. Call him Leitzet. If you do Leitzanos, Gorim Klei Lo'ilam, you cause destruction in the world. Shenemar v'ata the slight soup and yechzikum yisrisechem. Kichala, it's going to be devoured. Whatever the word is, v'nechritza shamati. Or lezer kasha he. This Leitzanos is terrible. Shetchilasi yisurim in the beginning. It starts off with a lot of yisurim v'soifik loya, and at the end is destruction. A few more. Let's just finish up. Dorish Rabbi Shimon Pazi. Ashri Yisha Shaloi Halach. The Tatirois, the Kisois, doesn't go to theaters and to circuses. Shalev the Gechavim. Or with the Chatam Le'Yomad, the Sheleimah Bekingoin, a person who doesn't hunt. What's wrong with hunting? So says Rashi over real quickly, because Tzedis Chaya, Ayidei Klavim with dogs. You do it only for enjoyment, not Chazrom. Somebody tried to make Litzanos yesterday. He said that going to the safari is mamish like this. So I said that's Litzanos. Why? Because you took a mamish dvar mitzvah of v'ivdaltem min atomi v'netar, and you said over here in front of everybody, that's litzanos. It's also to do. We did l'shem shamayim, of course. And if you say not, you mamish lets. Eilach v'zgor b'sheinos. So you'll say, sorry. This is unbelievable. I don't understand how you say. You don't watch a magic show. Magic show, sleight of hands. I'm a great guy. I don't go to theaters. I don't go to circuses. But I don't even go hunting. Yesterday, how many hours did you guys sleep? 4 or 5? I'm jealous of you guys. 4 or 5 hours. So I'll go take a gezunta shesheno. You have to learn Torah day and night. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDAF.com.